This is Murchison Falls, the most powerful waterfalls in the world. At Murchison Falls, all waters of the mighty River Nile try to squeeze their way to the Mediterranean Sea through an 8-meter narrow gorge. The sheer force of the water creates a devil's cauldron, albeit with an awesome beauty spiced by a rainbow. Uganda's biggest national park, Murchison, is named after these powerful waterfalls. Welcome to Murchison Falls National Park. Murchison Falls National Park, managed by Uganda Wildlife Authority, is located in the northern part of the Albertine Rift Valley, where the Bunyoro escarpment tumbles into vast palm-dotted savannah, teeming with wildlife. The park is bisected by the River Nile into the southern and northern banks and is the oldest and biggest national park in Uganda. Gazetted in 1952, the park is part of the wider 5,045 square kilometers Murchison Falls Conservation Area that includes Bugungu and Karuma Wildlife Reserves. The park itself measures 3,480 square kilometers. Murchison Falls National Park hosts 76 mammals and 451 bird species, respectively, making the park one of the most ideal destinations for both big game and birding expeditions in Africa. The masterpiece of this miniature's marvel is the part of the park at Murchison Falls. The falls were named after the then president of the National Geographic Society, Sir Roderick Murchison, by Sir Samuel Baker in 1864. Baker was a British explorer. Other notable visitors to the park include Theodore Roosevelt, Winston Churchill, Ernest Hemingway, Kanye West and wife Kim Kardashian, and several British royals. The 1951 film The African Queen, starring Humphrey Bogart, was filmed on Lake Albert and the Nile in Murchison Falls National Park. Murchison Falls National Park can be reached by both road and air. By road, it is about 4 to 5 hours from Kampala, the capital city of Uganda. The park can also be reached using chartered aircraft from Kajansi or Entebbe International Airport. Uganda Wildlife Authority puts a lot of effort to preserve and manage the park resources to conserve for future generations. Uganda Wildlife Authority works closely with neighboring communities to conserve the park for their benefit. For example, the park gives 20% of the park entrance revenue to the communities to enhance their livelihoods and improve social services. The funds are used on projects such as health facilities and schools, among others.
So we've done a number of community initiatives that are aimed at bringing communities on board to appreciate the park, because we conserve the park together with the local communities. We have a number of programs that we implement with communities, and one of them is revenue sharing, where we give 20% of our park entrance fees to the district's local government surrounding the park. We have about 62 parishes which are touching the park. In each of those parishes we have implemented a number of projects, and some of them include healthy centers, construction. We've actually constructed schools, we have constructed classroom blocks within the schools. We have one of the healthy centers called Bugana Healthy Center 3. It is actually from its beginning, even actually the first building was constructed out of revenue sharing.
Before it was constructed, people would move around 20 kilometers away from here to access the health services. We are offering the OPD, outpatient services. We are providing the antenatal that is maternity. Mothers are delivering from here and they are doing antenatals from here. We always do immunization. We therefore appreciate the efforts of our revenue, because if it was not their revenues, we don't think now this facility would be in existence. We admit minor cases around. So when they become major, beyond us, that's when we refer.
We have also done a school. We have Ongwedo Seed Secondary School. Of late it has been taken over by government.
Ongwedo sub-county had no any secondary school. Students were moving from Ongwedo sub-county to other neighboring sub-counties 20 kilometers. And this one caused high rate of dropout because students couldn't be in position to move long distance to go for studies. But now as I talk, most of students are studying. Before we were coming in, our enrollment was 60-something students, the whole school. After coming in of UA, using the revenue sharing to construct all these existing classrooms and staff quarters, the enrollments increased from 65 to 338.
Whenever there is wildlife near communities, there is bound to be human-wildlife conflicts. The conflicts usually arise when wildlife strays from the park to homesteads and gardens. Animals can destroy gardens, forcing communities to retaliate, sometimes with ugly consequences. Working closely with communities, Uganda Wildlife Authority has put in place a number of interventions to mitigate human-wildlife conflict because community-led approaches are considered more sustainable. Some of the measures put in place are construction of electric fences, trenches, and beehives fences along the park boundaries.
We have animals that come out of the park and they terrorize communities. They come out, eat the crops, and also at times even cause injury. As UA, we have put in place various interventions. You will find that these interventions, either there's a single intervention or they are working hand in hand.
Electric fences to shock off animals from straying into communities have been constructed in parts of Nuoya and Oyam districts in northern Uganda.
This electric fence is in Oyam district. Before it was even put there, we initially had the trench, which was there. But as we saw that still the elephants would come out because Oyam has a long stretch of swamps. So you find that these elephants would pass through the swamps and still access the community land. At the moment, the prevalences of the elephants has reduced. Since it was put there, we have not had a case of death, of injury, meaning that the electric fence is doing its work. It's very effective in deterring these elephants from going to community land.
How does the electric fence prevent animals from crossing the park boundaries into community land?
Along the main electric fence line, we have the outriggers which are facing inside the electric fence line, so that when the elephant comes, before it reaches at the main electric fence line, it touches these outriggers which are 90 degrees facing inside. So when the elephant touches here, the chest, it is shocked. It works in pulses. It hits, it releases. It hits, it releases. It is solar powered. Every day we have power from at least where we come from January to December.
Before the fence, some communities around the park never used to engage in serious agricultural production, fearing they would lose their crops to animals. But today, the stories of happiness, big harvests, and thick passes.
Right now, they have brought the electric fence. Now we are okay. For me, I've planted 40 acres of soya. So now I'm now okay. Now we even have now a group. So we are even requesting the government, if they can help us with the tractor. Last year, I got 130 bags of soya. I sold at 3,500. I got like 34 million.
Another way of preventing wildlife from crossing the park boundaries into communities is by use of trenches. In a collaboration with the communities, the park has constructed elephant trenches along the park boundaries in different parts to deter animals from crossing. Communities around the park happily participate in the construction of these trenches.
The trenches that we have here in Karuma Wildlife Reserve, we dig them 2 meters wide, 2 meters down. And these trenches in most cases are dug by the community members themselves. In areas where we have put the trench, the elephant can't cross. Also other animals can also see the trench is there, and this prevents them from coming to the community land and causing destruction. Initially, in areas where there was no trench, there was no crop. So now the benefit is that the farmers are able to plant their crops. Their livelihood has also improved because the crops they are growing, they are able to get money out of it and be able to take children to school and afford the basic needs. And also there's improved relationship between UWA and the community.
With support from the park, communities have set up beehive fences along some park boundaries to mainly keep elephants at bay. The beehives are a classic example of killing two birds with one stone. Big as they are, elephants fear and loathe the sting of bees. To avoid being stung, elephants keep away from the beehives and thus remain within the park. On the other hand, communities harvest honey from the beehives and sell it for cash.
We normally engage communities through collaborative management agreements. These communities place their beehives along the boundary line. The beehives, at times, UWA buys for the communities, and also we have NGOs.
David Okello Munu is a member of Ribe Enteko Beekeeping Group in Karuma, who earns big from selling honey.
I'm into beekeeping because of the support of the UWA. This is 1 liter. We sell now 25,000. From one hive, we can get like from 10 kilograms, even some can go to 25 kilograms from one hive. So in a year, we harvest twice. That means in one hive, you can get like 50 kilograms in a year if the harvest is good. I'm so grateful to UWA because right now it is improving our livelihood. As you can see, at least I can get some money and I'm even affording at least to buy some nice dresses for myself.
Angels are only in heaven, they say. So among the community members are also some black sheep that enter the park for dark motives, to poach wildlife. The management of Murchison Falls National Park, working with community, has an answer for poachers under its arm of law enforcement.
The major thing which we do as law enforcement is to ensure that fauna and flora are protected for future generations. We being few and the community being many surrounding the whole park, we work hand in hand with them. We share with them information what is happening inside, and also they share with us what is happening outside. So community, we work hand in hand with them. We have got a lot of benefit from them, and most of the animals, because most of the animals are staying outside, so they also protect. Also on our side, with our department of CC, we give them revenue sharing. That revenue sharing, the 20% which we give them, also to benefit from the resources. They are the ones suffering with these animals. Despite that we are working with the communities in a good way, but there are some few who are not good. So these people resort themselves to poaching. They poach with different tools. Most of the worst tool which they come with guns, which we have ever impounded and forwarded them to the police and others taken to Kampala. And they also come with the traditional poaching tools, like the wire snares.
Tons of traps and snares designed to kill or trap wildlife have been recovered from the park and poachers.
We have wire snares. We have very many types of wire snares. Like this one, small. It looks small. This one targets small animal, antelopes. But this one here, they can even catch giraffe also. This one here is for hippos. They tie a very long rope on it with a cork at the end of the rope. Then they get a stick, they put here. They stab it. When it is moving in the water, they reach it's getting where it is by using the cork, where the cork is. These are arrows. And this is a bow. This is only for killing small animals like the edible rats and the small ones.
When we are on patrol, these tools which they have, the weed trap, the wire snares, they are not only restricted to animals, they are also restricted to the rangers. We have around 6 to 7 tons, which has been collected within a period of 4 years.
The park gets financial resources needed for conservation through tourism. Murchison Falls National Park offers a variety of tourist activities. The varied habitats of the park make it home for a variety of birds, with 451 bird species recorded. The list includes the shoebill stork, which can be easily found around the delta, the Goliath heron, the largest heron in the world.
Birding is one of the best activities that people who like flights in colors do here in Murchison Falls. We have a number of bird species. We have approximately 451 bird species, and we have those endemics that are only found within the Albertine Rift, and Murchison Falls hosts most of them. One of the bird species that people come from all over the world is the shoebill. The shoebill is mainly found in the Delta region.
Scheduled daily boat cruises to the bottom of Murchison Falls are another rewarding experience to view wildlife and birds. The falls mark the final event of an 80-kilometer stretch of rapids before the river calms down. From the falls, the placid river, whose banks teem with wildlife and birds, flows across the Rift Valley floor into Lake Albert. Some of the animals seen during the boat cruise include, but are not limited to, hippos, waterbirds, crocodiles, buffaloes, and much more. A variety of waterbirds can also be sighted during the boat ride, such as African fish eagle, African darter, giant kingfisher, red-throated bee-eater. This section of the River Nile at the bottom of Murchison Falls is regarded by some anglers as one of the best fishing spots in the world. The most popular fish for anglers is the Nile perch.
Sport fishing is one of the activities that interests so many people. It is designed in a way that you pick fish from the water, measure, weigh, and return it back.
Murchison Falls National Park is composed of woodland, wetlands, savannah, as well as tropical forests. This habitat is home to a variety of both big and small game. The various trails in the park allow visitors to get up close with animals such as lions, buffaloes, elephants, warthogs, Uganda cobs, Jackson's hartebeest, jackals, waterbucks, oribis, and Patter's monkeys. The Patter's monkeys are the only savannah monkeys in Uganda, and much more. Nocturnal animals and birds can be seen during the night game drives. Murchison Falls National Park hosts the biggest population of the Rothschild giraffes in the world. These gentle, majestic and towering giants over the savannah are hard to miss during game drives.
Specifically here in Murchison Falls, we have Rothschild giraffe. And yes, it is distributed in some countries like Sudan, a few in South Africa and Kenya. But Murchison is proud to be having the biggest population of Rothschild giraffe. We estimate to be having 1,980 Rothschild giraffe.
Murchison Falls National Park has several trails for those that would like to explore the park on foot. Among the most outstanding is Baker's Trail that explores the top of Murchison Falls. The top of the falls commands scenic views of the Nile as it enters the narrow gorge to form the world's most powerful waterfall. This is not all. Uhuru Falls, formed during the floods of the early 1960s, can also be viewed along this trail as a bonus.
So here we are at the top of the Murchison Falls. The waterfall is flowing between a gorge. In the year 1962, in Uganda, it was a year of Ugandan independence. So during that year, the country was blessed with heavy rainfall, and the heavy rainfall flooded the river Nile. So due to strong water pressure, the river busted its bank at the northern side. So part of the river water was flowing off the gorge down to the bottom, and it formed the second waterfall. And that second waterfall was named Uhuru Falls. Uhuru is a Swahili word for independent.
Standing at the top of Murchison Falls is a rewarding experience. You see, smell, and hear the awesome roar of the falls. The rainbow formed by the thundering falls is legendary. And mystical is the watery mist that spices the everlasting battle between water and rock. It is the power of nature at its fullest. Standing over the spot where the Nile squeezes through an 8-meter narrow gorge with unbelievable force is the climax of the ultimate safari in Murchison Falls National Park, Uganda's premium wildlife destination. Overwhelmed by the magic of nature, at the top of Murchison Falls, couples kiss. This is the pearl of Africa.